Hi all, in this video we will try to understand the placement Venus in Scorpio for Aries ascendant. Venus represents the beautiful energy. It represents new houses, new vehicles, gain of wealth, birth of a new child, giving exceptional happiness, perfumes, varieties of cosmetics, good ornaments, expensive clothes or very good clothes, delicious food, festivals at home. All auspicious means it's a pure materialistic energy. This energy is not related to the spiritual energy, it's not related to higher learning, it's not related to your religious stuff and all the things, but it is a pure materialistic happiness. Venus in Vedic astrology is represented with a beautiful female with lot of money, with lot of ornaments, wearing beautiful, expensive clothes, having lot of houses, lot of vehicles. Then how much happiness that particular female can give you, just imagine. Right? So that is the Venus energy. When you are in love with a person, pure love, when you are in pure love with a person, the beautiful energy you feel, that is your Venus energy. It's a pure materialistic energy. Lust is represented by Venus. In a male's horoscope, a wife is represented by Venus. So Venus is the relationship happiness, the happiness that you get by relationships. Also, Venus represents how you want to take the pleasure in life. That is also represented by Venus. When this particular Venus is in Scorpio, the sign Scorpio is a water sign, is a deep water, and the lord of the Scorpio is Mars. Mars is like a military general. Mars is a furious energy, and Venus is not comfortable in Scorpio. Right? Even see, Venus in Scorpio represents how a person wants to take enjoyment. See, means the person wants to take enjoyment with so much of deep emotions. And it is not always possible that a person can get this much of deep emotional energy from every relationship or from everyone. It's not possible. So whenever it is not possible, the person is going to be very much hurt. He is very much disturbed. So Venus in Scorpio is not comfortable. And when Venus is in Scorpio, the general predictions are a person will be jealous. He is very malicious. He is argumentative. He is clever at getting or achieving things by using unfair or dishonest methods. He is not attached to brothers. He is troubled by enemies, but at the same time, he is going to win over enemies at any cost. And very easily also, sometimes he can win over enemies. Finally, at any cost, he is going to win over enemies. That is for sure. This is confirmed by so many astrologers and so many sages. A person is distressed. He is very much interested in women. Also, the person is skillful in killing. So these are the general predictions, and when this particular Venus in Scorpio for Aries ascendant. What is Aries ascendant? So when Aries is your first house, automatically Scorpio becomes your 8th house. Scorpio becomes your 8th house. And your 8th house lord is Mars, your ascendant lord. So Mars placement is very important. And when Mars is in conjunction with Venus, it may increase lust of a person, but it is going to give some troubled marriage life for sure. So Venus and Mars, the combination itself is not at all good for marriage, because in marriage we expect a very cool and calm energy, but not a Martian energy. A Martian is a military general. So that kind of energy which we don't expect in marriages. So what happens generally is, for the Aries ascendant, the person would be inimical to his wife. Means he is not good for his wife, basically. Maybe he may love his wife, that's a different thing, but he is not good for his wife, because his wife is in Scorpio basically here, right? He is not, so his energy is not so good for his wife, and there will always be some kind of dissatisfaction in the family life, and his wife's longevity will be quite diminished by this placement. So whenever Venus is in Scorpio, a person's wife would have some health issues also. The chances of Venus improving many of his adversities will be quite remote unless a powerful Jupiter is present. So if at least your Jupiter is good in your horoscope, even though your wife may have some health issues, she may still be alive. She may still continue her life. So if your Venus is in Scorpio, check your Jupiter. That's very important, because Jupiter is the significator of a good marriage life and also good children. If Venus is bad, at least if your Jupiter is good, then you may have a very good family life. Even though you have some troubles somewhere in your marriage life, you can still continue your marriage life. You can still be with your wife and children. You can still be happy. At least it is a hopeful situation when your Jupiter is good if Venus is in Scorpio, right? If your Jupiter is also not good, then it is going to give you more trouble in your marriage life. Your wife may not be very healthy. Now, so I need to understand the strength of this Venus. Venus is in Scorpio. Now I want to understand its strength. So what nakshatras are covered in Scorpio? Vishakha 4th pada, Anuradha 1, 2, 3, 4, Jyeshtha 1, 2, 3, 4 are covered in Scorpio sign. Now let us say my Venus is in Vishakha 4th. That means my Venus is in Scorpio. I am an Aries ascendant guy, and my Venus is in Vishakha 4th, that is in Scorpio. Now what should I check in my horoscope? Now you need to check Jupiter also, because Jupiter is the lord of Vishakha nakshatra. If your Jupiter is nicely placed in your horoscope, if your Jupiter is nicely placed in your horoscope, then that Jupiter is going to give some strength to your Venus for sure. Then your marriage life would be a bit better. You may have good children. Even though your wife is having some health issues, still you can continue your family life very nicely. Now let us say my Venus in Scorpio is in Anuradha 1, 2, 3, 4. Then what should I check? Then you need to check the lord of Anuradha nakshatra, that is Saturn. So if your Saturn is good, Venus in Anuradha a bit comfortable nakshatra, but the Venus in Anuradha represents a person wants more and love, right? The person wants more pleasure. So that kind of pleasure takingness, would be unusual if your Saturn is badly present somewhere in your horoscope. If your Saturn is nicely placed, then yes, that pleasure takingness is a bit harmonious and it will lead to a good family life. And when Venus is in Jyeshtha, obviously, when Venus is in Jyeshtha, you may have a lot of dissatisfaction in your family life, in your pleasure takingness. Because Jyeshtha nakshatra represents Sahasrayoni, means it needs lot of satisfaction. It wants lot of pleasure to get satisfied, and it is not always possible. So the moment Venus is in Jyeshtha, you can understand the pleasure takingness of the person is always dissatisfied. He wants more and more, and it has no end. So this will always lead to, so whenever Venus is in Jyeshtha, then remember, you are dissatisfied. And if Saturn is also joining with this Venus, the dissatisfaction will become more and more. You are even more dissatisfied. Then you may want to have some extramarital affairs, for sure. And you need to check and how much, where it will go, where it will lead to. A person, Venus is in Jyeshtha, and he may want to have this extramarital affairs without any boundaries. He will become dreadful to the society. So how can you really understand that energy? You need to check the Lord of Jyeshtha, that is Mercury. So if your Mercury is nicely placed, if your Mercury is very good, very nice, then yes, you have some control over there. Venus in Jyeshtha, the dissatisfaction, even though you're dissatisfied, you're controlled. You're not harmful to the society in that way, right? So, and there is one more thing here, the Jyeshtha nakshatra, the Gandanta nakshatra. What is Gandanta? The transition from water sign to fire sign, that junction. So Jyeshtha fourth pada. So whenever Venus is in Jyeshtha from 26 degree to 30 degree, then it is representing a Gandanta state. So your Venus is in Gandanta state then, whenever Venus is in Scorpio with 26 degree to 30 degree. So that is the last degrees of your Jyeshtha, Gandanta status. Then definitely, whenever your Venus Mahadasha is started, you will see end of a relationship. You will see end of a relationship. That means if you are already married, you may get divorced. Or if you are in a love relationship, then your love relationship is going to be broken. When your Venus is in Jyeshtha, that too 26 degree to 30 degree, the last 4 degree only, that is the Gandanta status, right? So now you also need to understand the Navamsha stuff here. So what we are trying to do here, you're trying to understand the energy of your Venus. Is really your Venus a great having great strength, or it is having less strength? It is going to take you to a very comfortable life, or it is going to take you to an uncomfortable life. That's what we are trying to understand. So Venus in Scorpio itself is not a good thing, but we are trying to understand more. If it has any control over there, if it has any stop at any kind of you can say it has any kind of okay, let me tell you, it has any kind of stoppage for this what you say, the dissatisfaction, the grief. That's what we're trying to understand. So let me tell you the Navamsha. So where Venus is comfortable in your Navamsha. So in the Navamsha, if your Venus is in Leo, Aries, Scorpio, Capricorn or Aquarius, it is bad. It is going to be bad. And in the Navamsha, if your Venus is in Cancer, Virgo, Libra, Sagittarius, Pisces, Taurus, Gemini, I'm talking about the Navamsha, it is good. Right? So understand the Venus now. You got it, right? Now see, what are the good positions, good house numbers for Venus? The Kendra houses 1, 4, 7, 10. The Trikona house is 5, 9. And also the house of gains, that is the 11th house, are good for Venus. If Venus is in 6, 8, 12, it is bad. If Venus is in 6, 8, 12, it is bad. But at the same time, let us say, when it is at least a bit good, let us say Venus is your 10th lord and it is sitting in your 6th house. 6th house is related to, the diseases also. So as Venus is your 10th lord and it is sitting in the 6th house, then you may become a doctor. Let us say Venus is in the 8th house as 10th lord, then you may be good in leather industries or antique pieces industries. You're good in that. Okay? And let us say Venus as the 10th lord, he is present in the 12th house, then you may be good in imports and exports business. You're getting it? So here, let us say I'm telling Venus as the lord of some Kendra houses or Trikona houses, the 5, 9, and also the house of gains, or if it is placed there in the 1, 4, 7, 10, 5, 9, 11, it is good. If your Venus is in 6, 8, 12, it is not so good for your family life. But as a lord of 10th house, I just said it may be good for those things. You're getting it? Also, Venus is a kind of, Venus and Jupiter, these planets may look good, but they are also the death-giving planets, the Maraka planets. They are always stand in the first row. Okay, so if your Venus is the second lord or 7th lord, then it may give death in its antardasha, people say. So if Venus is your second lord or 7th lord, and if you are in Venus antardasha, then you have to pray Durga Mata, and also you need to chant Mahamrutyunjaya mantra every day. Okay? So now you got the Venus strength. Now let us say someone is asking you, my Venus is in the 6th house. Okay? My Venus is in the 6th house, and that is Scorpio. And that too, that is in Jyeshtha Nakshatra, right? Also in Gandanta, 26 to 30 degree. Venus in Scorpio itself is bad. Right? You may ask me, what is bad, what is good here? Good, Good means, see, all materialistic things. What materialistic things a person wants basically? A person wants a very beautiful wife, good children, also festivals at home, lot of ornaments, lot of very nicely constructed house, a very good vehicle, ornaments, perfumes, enjoyment, right? So when Venus is very nicely placed, then you have all these things and you will lead a comfortable life with your wife and children, and everything is so comfortable for you. If not, what happens? See, these rules were written in ancient times. These are all connected to dharma, right? Let us say someone's Venus is bad, then what happens? He may have lot of extramarital affairs. He may have some problem with so if Venus is very much afflicted, very much bad, and he may eat some bad food in its Mahadasha or Antardasha, in the Venus Mahadasha or Antardasha, right? All the negative effects you would see. Negative effects are related to the house, a wife, children, vehicle, wealth, happiness from children, perfumes, food, ornaments, vehicles, clothes, festivals at home. These are all the Venus energy. If a positive Venus comes, then in the Venus Mahadasha you will experience all the positive things, related to these matters, right? If someone has Venus in the 12th house, that too in the Jyeshtha Nakshatra and also in Gandanta, right? The 26 degree to 30 degree, right? And that is of course Scorpio. And for Aries ascendant, let us say Aries ascendant, it is the 8th house. 8th house is a bad house. Venus is not good in 6, 8, 12, right? So then the person may end up with a relationship because the Venus is in Gandanta, and he may start a new relationship, right? Because Jyeshtha represents a dissatisfaction. So the person is dissatisfied, so he may want to be in another relationship, right? It depends. See, if you are very much happy with stealing others' money and having so many girlfriends, and not having any kind of festivals at home, and if you're not interested in ornaments, and you are happy with the normal food and everything, then even though your Venus is bad, you're very comfortable, right? It's up to you. So this particular Venus has this kind of problems. See, this Venus in Scorpio for Aries ascendant, and this, let us say this Venus in the Navamsha chart, let us say this is falling in some Leo sign. Leo is a bad sign for Venus in the Navamsha chart. Then obviously a person's wife may have less longevity. If the person is happy with less longevity of his wife, then it's a different picture. But Vedic Dharma says, right, the everything is related to Dharma in ancient times, right? So a very one single wife, very nicely, very good children and good ornaments, all these things, right? These are all according to Dharma. These are all the results of beautifully placed Venus. If your Venus is badly positioned, your wife may look bad. Your wife may not be very good. 6, 8, 12 are the bad positions for Venus, right? So this is about Venus. So if your Venus is the 2nd or 7th lord, and if you are in Venus Antardasha, please chant Durga mantra every day. Also you need to chant Mrutyunjaya Mahamantra. That is very important, because 2nd house, 7th house are called as the Maraka houses, or the death giving houses. So Venus is always stands number 1 in giving death. So especially if it is 2nd lord or 7th lord, please chant Durga mantra and Mrutyunjaya Mahamantra. So this is the power of this placement, right? Please check if your Venus is in Vishaka. Please check the Jupiter's placement. Jupiter is comfortably placed, then even though your Venus is in Scorpio, it is controlled. It is controlled, right? Controlled, and you may have a very good family life. And if your Venus is in Anuradha, and check Saturn's position, Saturn's dignity. Saturn is very nicely placed, then okay, right? Venus is in control. If Venus is in Jyeshtha, and if your Mercury is very good, then that Venus is also under control, right? Let us say someone is having Venus in Jyeshtha and a Mercury is also debilitated. Then what happens, what you can expect in his Venus Mahadasha or Antardasha? Mercury is debilitated, a Venus is in Jyeshtha, and Venus in the Navamsha is also in some Leo or Aries or Scorpio, Capricorn. Let us say Venus is in the 12th house, a very bad house, big black hole. Then that particular person, Venus in Jyeshtha, Venus in the Navamsha also, Venus is in Leo or Aries or Scorpio or Capricorn or Aquarius, and Mercury is also debilitated in the birth chart. Then Venus is in the 12th house, and the person is going to have not infinite, I should not say that, maybe he would always run after extramarital affairs, and that behavior is uncontrolled, because the Mercury, the Buddhi, is also not present, it is debilitated, right? So I hope you understand this video, and we will try to cover, right? So whenever you have a bad Venus, you always have problem with your wife and children. The happiness giving elements, you may have problem with relationships. Basically Venus represents relationships, right? Especially the marriage relationship. So your family life is a kind of struggled environment you can observe. Venus is too bad, Venus is very much weak, then your wife's longevity is also going to be very, very weak based on the intensity of it. Venus is a bit bad, then your wife may have some health issues. So all these things can be controlled by the nakshatra lords. Wherever Venus is present, check the nakshatra lord of that particular nakshatra. Hope you understood this one. Please comment, please write to me. I'm just going to post my email ID. Just write to me or comment on this video. I would be very glad. Okay, thanks for watching my video.